So last night I finished the HBO limited series Chernobyl. This was absolutely incredible, but the most terrifying thing I've ever watched in my entire life. Horror movies and all this shit don't hold a candle to how absolutely terrifying this damn show is. Those first 3 episodes, I was sick to my stomach. It it's something that it's hard to put into words, like what I watched. It is horrifying. It is such a well done show. It is the highest rated television show in history as of right now, and I completely understand why. Man, this was masterclass. Storytelling, filmmaking at its highest. This is HBO doing what they do best. And man, I knew very little about Chernobyl. Like, I knew it was a nuclear reactor meltdown and a bunch of people died and they had to evacuate a city and you can't still go there, mostly because of the Chernobyl Diaries movie, honestly. But I knew of the event. I just didn't really know the details. Not really. And because they lied about them for so long, but I don't know. I don't know how long the information has been out there to be able to, really know what happened. But wow. What a show. What a devastating thing to watch, but such a necessary one. There were extremely brave heroes that were part of this and gave their lives to save millions. The impact of this, when I was watching this, it literally, like, every 2 to 3 minutes just kept saying, oh my God, because every freaking few minutes they just kept throwing another thing at you that you were like, holy shit, the impact that this could have on the world, the impact that this did have on the world of so many, but the impact of what it could have been, and the amount of shit they had to go through, the amount of people and money and resources and everything to fix this. There's no real fixing this, but to fix it, to save millions, because this could have been a global disaster. I mean, something that could potentially, fuck up life for the entire planet. So it was wild to listen to when they were talking about it in the show. Like, wow, this was so much bigger than I had thought. And when you're sitting there and you're watching this, you're like, this actually happened. Like, everything I'm watching right now actually took place. And there's tons of these things. There's tons of nuclear power plants all over the country. And everyone's like, oh, it never happened again. It could never happen again. They fixed those issues, this and that. This is the problem, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What happened in Japan recently? I mean, not as bad as this. At least I don't think, until I see the HBO special on the Japan one. But yeah, until the next one happens. I mean, after watching this show, after watching what these guys learned, after watching everything that happened in here, oh my God, the first 3 episodes, all 5 episodes are incredible. But those first 3 episodes, I was legitimately sick to my stomach for a good majority of it. Because it was just the weight of everything. It was what these people had to go through. It was, what Jared Harris's character here keeps telling Stella Stellingard's character. Like, Stella's character really kind of plays the us of the show, and Jared Harris's character is the nuclear physicist who has to explain everything to him and the implications. And it's just the weight of everything he's saying. You know, just kind of explaining this to us, like, this is what has happened. This is what it means. If we don't stop this, this is what's going to happen. This is what we'll need. Here's all the problems that are arising. Here's, you know, what we need to do now. Now we're not out of the, here's how many men are going to have to die. It's just so much, so fast. And your mind is racing at 1,000,000 miles per hour because you're sitting there and it's not watching fiction. It's not watching, you know, the implications of what happens in a fictional universe. It really happened. Everything you're watching actually happened. These people died like this. These things happened. These lies were told. These imperfections were overlooked. Like, fuck. It is so hard to watch. But, you know, as the old adage goes, it's those who do, what's the saying? Like, those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat in the future. I can't remember exactly what the phrase is, but that's like, I like watching this kind of stuff because it's just, I don't know, I feel like I am wiser because of it, but man, it is fucking so tough to watch. I've never watched anything quite like it. And I think, yeah, of course, because it was real. I think that's obviously a huge factor. But the way it's done too, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from that because not everybody could have got this material and made the show as good as it was. In fact, most people would have made it nowhere near as good. It's people who, you know, and it was the same writer for every episode and the same director for every episode. And I've noticed that to be a trend for shows that are fucking fantastic. Shows that stick to one director and one writer throughout its entire run, which is rare. But most of the time when that happens, you've got a good, cohesive atmosphere and narrative because, you know, it's just two heads talking back and forth to one another. But yeah, wow. I don't really know what to say. This is a tough review. I started this thing like 17 times and kept shutting it off, and I just don't feel like fucking doing it again. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one to talk about because I felt so many emotions during this show, none of which even resembled happiness. Not a smile, not a chuckle, nothing. There is no happiness to be had here. It sounds like an absolute torturous watch. And while it kind of is, I mean, it is because it is fucking horrible to watch in that way, it is so well done. And as I said, I think it's so necessary to watch. Oh, man. Fuck. Just playing everything back in my head and just thinking of everything that happened. And just, man, there's so many heroes. There's so many people who gave their life and gave up, you know, even so many people gave up a good portion of their life, because even if they didn't die from this immediately, horribly, they died of this a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later. I mean, we don't even know what the death toll is. They say that it's between 4,000 and like 900,000. Like, they don't know because they're just kind of, they don't really have any accurate records of how to suss this out. So they're kind of guessing. But from what we learn in this show, it definitely seems like it makes more sense that it's probably closer to the 1,000,000 point than the 1,000 point. Fuck. Let's just hope nothing like this ever happens again, because wow. Just wow. A must watch. But bring your tissues, bring your anxiety medication, bring your fucking stuffed animals, bring whatever comfort you have, or don't watch it. I completely understand why people wouldn't watch this, but I think it is an absolute must watch. I think it's the best thing you're going to see on television in 2019. You know, it's probably the best limited run series you'll ever watch. So I can't. Yeah. So anyway, adios.